Yes, and once again, live with Dabu, it is the Underground. Good evening. Good to see everyone. Thank you, Steve. At the gate, and Kathy. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. It's appreciated to the fullest, more than you know. Much love, mods. Thank you for holding it down all the time. I want to thank everyone out there that shares the stream religiously, like Kev Bar, Tacos, Tidge, all the crew there, Lone Warrior in house. Thank you for the feedback on the mic check there. Lots to cover here and talk about and dissect, as always. And much love, salutes to all the purebloods out there. You know who you are. If you got anything to get to me, the email is dabu7@yahoo.com. I check it throughout the stream, or you can at me at dabu77 like Kuna just did. Much love right back at you. I appreciate it to the fullest. Hopefully, maybe one day I'll get to meet some of you guys out there. All right, so everything's good. 5x5s. Everything's solid. Looks like Christ is King in the house. Much love. All right, so hopefully everything goes smooth here. I did full resets on everything before we went live tonight. Refreshed everything. Got everything on my end as clear as I could. So hopefully we have a good stream here. Minimal issues. All right, so we're going to start off here with recall. Ford recalling 850,000 vehicles for fuel pump failure. I figured this is going to affect some people. I know someone out there listening right now has a Ford that this is going to affect. They say a faulty low-pressure fuel pump could fail and cause the engine to stall, and this increases a crash risk. So they're saying that this actually can get you to crash. Free alien. Much love. Thank you for that. I don't want to see any accidents or issues out there. That's why I try to cover all these things. The recall includes various recent Ford and Lincoln models, such as the Bronco, the Explorer, the F-150, the Aviator, the Navigator. Starting July 14th, Ford will notify affected owners about the issue. But if you bought, this off someone else and it wasn't brand spanking new, and they don't know who to send anything out to, you're not going to get this heads up. So I'm just giving you the heads up right here. Like, you got to tell your friends and family. They say a fix is still in development. They say they will fix this free of charge, and we'll see what comes of it. But it's a lot of different models. It must have been a kind of common fuel pump that they got away with putting inside of a whole bunch of different models there. And when you get a bad part, that's what happens. I just want to let folks know. For anyone out there dealing with that or even thinking about getting a new vehicle, something else to watch out for is this dangerous heat. I got some footage here of a situation that just went down. 2 toddlers being rescued. They were locked in a hot car in Cobb County, Georgia. This happened on June 4th around 1 p.m., right in the afternoon, high noon. And they said the temperature in the car was 117 degrees Fahrenheit. And kids were in the car crying. Now, this is ridiculous. Like, look, in my opinion, if you see any kids like that in a situation and like cops can't even get there fast enough or whatever, like, I don't see what's wrong with anyone saving the day. Pets, the same way. I've seen it so many times. The stories, kids and pets dying in cars. And we've seen the parents, the responses of all kinds of to. I forgot they were in there. Just went in there and do some quick shopping. Ended up taking more than I thought. You forgot they were in there, and there's all kinds of different stuff going on in people's lives. But by and large, man, just don't do it. Just don't do it. I know. I mean, in a lot of these situations, people don't even keep the windows cracked, or anything like that, which is the craziest part. There's no ventilation. But I'm going to play this clip here. It shows these officers. Get a refresh on this. If it loads, here we go. Again, out of Cobb County, Georgia.
Oh, you're hot.
And we just came out of the Dix, and I heard kids crying.
Give me one moment.
They're little children. It's a little boy and a little girl.
Approximately how old?
They look like they're maybe they're locked in the car. The little boy. Hi, honey. It's okay. Hey, you're okay. You're okay. The little girl looks maybe about a year, and the little boy looks maybe about 2.
Little kids in the car. They were crying pretty hard.
It's not running. Let's break it. Use it fast. It's not trying. Yeah, I got it. You want me to break or you got it? Hey, kitties. Hey. Oh, we forced entry to the car. Hey, buddy. It's okay. Hey. Yeah. It's okay, baby. It's okay. Oh, you're hot. Come here. It's okay. L4, they are. That's some water for me. It's okay.
He was kind of panting.
Yeah, we got somebody check him out. Go find some AC. It's okay, baby. It's okay, baby.
And that was at 12:24 they entered?
And that was approximately about 12:24 when they entered the mall?
7-4.
Okay.
7-4, thank you.
Yeah, they have him on camera getting out. He left the car at 12:24, so they've been in there the whole time.
12:24.
Yeah, and we got here probably at 1:03.
Takes.
Well, I was curious to see how they got him. I wanted to see that, and they did not show that part. That would have been one of the better parts there. I didn't know if they went in and chased him down inside the mall, or if they just waited till he walked out and he was surprised. So he shouldn't have been too surprised, but I'm sure he was shocked, at the scene, all these different vehicles and people there. But I just wanted to see that conversation, hear that conversation, and things like that. But we didn't get it. But the kid's saved in this situation. In there for a half an hour, 117 degrees. What if it was you? Heidi, thank you for the coffees. I appreciate the support. More than you know. Jeff, thank you for the PayPal. Those are the best ways to support the channel. Links in the description. And thank you very much. We'll keep it pushing here. We have an incident that took place in my state. There was a couple different things that went down. And Jay from the Ville, thank you, bro, for just staying on top of stuff and trying to keep me in the mix with what was going on over the weekend. We had mixed reports of all types of different stuff going down. Had to do with shootings and an active shooter. But Kentucky State Trooper shot, and then you got 2 people dead in the end, multiple people injured at a Lexington church in Kentucky. The suspect shot by a Kentucky State Police trooper before fleeing a nearby church. He shot the state trooper. So it says the suspect, who has not been publicly identified, which is just kind of crazy to me. Like, why not? Like, we've seen there was a highway shooter here quite a few months back. They ended up finding his deceased body out in the woods, and there was a huge manhunt. He was shooting at vehicles from the highway, and like hit some people and all kinds of other stuff. It was madness. I remember his last name was Couch, but they put his name out, and there was a manhunt and all this other stuff, and his image, but like in this instance, maybe because I don't know, there was no manhunt because they say he was dead quick. I don't know. They didn't put out any identification, although this mystery person was pronounced dead at the scene. They say the incident began at around 11:30 in the morning local time when the suspect shot the trooper during an encounter in Fayette County. The suspect then fled and arrived at the Richmond Road Baptist Church in a rural part of Lexington, where Kentucky State Police and Lexington Police confronted him. Multiple injured victims were reported at the church. An injured officer was transported to a hospital for medical care. 2 people killed in addition to the shooter. So that's 3 people total. So 2 people killed. Man. They neutralized him. The identities and conditions of the injured victims have not been publicly released. Authorities have also not released the suspect's cause of death, the exact number of victims, or any motive for the shooting. So this is still, in development here in terms of gathering all the details to it. But yeah, man. R.I.P. to any innocent people dying here. But here in Kentucky, those shootings, even if they happen, they don't tend to last too long because people are armed everywhere. And it pays to have that. You've got paid protection, citizen protection around you 24/7 all the time, for the most part, in all these public places. All right, so another incident that took place here over the weekend. The airplane crashes at the London Southend Airport, and this is just moments after takeoff. Really makes you start to wonder, what's going on here? Well, because we just had the Air India one, and I got an update to that here next, though. Right after takeoff, they go down and they crash. We've seen several like this. Different reasons, different circumstances, and different setups. This is why I said before it would pay to have an extra runway or an emergency runway so far down from the runway. It just seems to be the answer to me, and it should be like that anyway. Like these planes that end up coming down, they would have had a chance to land, but they hit trees or they hit houses, they hit something like that. If they would have had just a runway to maybe put it down on or something like that, I just think it would help. I see these airports crammed into the craziest places. It just seems to make sense. Similar to how, off the roads, at least around here in the mountains, you have these things every so often off the side of the road are these big runoffs, and they're to help semis that are lose their brakes, come charging down the mountain, to help them come to a safe stop. It's just a safety thing that comes to mind here that, like, I don't know. They don't seem to do much positive stuff around here ever. It's one of the huge pitfalls of this place, this entire plane, as it is right now, this life, this world. Not a whole lot of positive anything, because even when it comes to technological advancement and all this other stuff, the government's just keeping it under the thumb. And it's a big mafia. It's a global mafia at this point, controlling it all. And really, So much black magic being used by the witches and wizards. It's crazy. If I remember at the end here, I'll play a clip related to all this stuff. Curious George, much love. It's crazy. Or Curious Georgia. There's one thing that I've got since I was a baby that was a gift. It was a stuffed animal, and it was Curious George. It's crazy. Reminds me of that every time I see your name. So, all right. On to this update of the Air India crash. They say fuel switches on this Boeing 787 were cut off during takeoff. So this is one of the, I guess, the better things on the side of technology these days, where they can track things and they get more data out of the black box, telemetry data, all this information, everything that was going on in the cockpit, every little button that was hit, every little switch that was thrown. Like, they track these things if they're successful in getting and retrieving, black boxes and things like that. This was a horrific crash. This Air India Flight 171, it was a Boeing 787. It raised a lot of questions. We see a lot of issues with Boeing. It was captured on CCTV footage. 260 people died on that. And authorities remained largely silent until now. In this newly released preliminary report, they're saying it's good news for Boeing, but early findings suggest that the mid-air disaster was not due to a mechanical flaw in the engines, but likely the result of human error or something done on purpose. Right? They released a report here revealing that the fuel control switches were set to cut off just seconds after takeoff, explaining why the wide-body jet failed to gain sufficient lift and it just dropped. So it went from run to cut off, one after another, with a time gap of 1 second. Engine N1 and N2 began to decrease from their takeoff values as the fuel supply to engines was cut. Now, I guess the first question that hits me is, all right, here's a picture. This shows you the thrust lever, and this shows you the engine fuel control switches. Now, part of me is just like, well, why would they have access to cutting off the gas, period, in a flight, knowing that if you do, everyone's dead? Well, how's that even an option? Even a button hit? That's my first question. And I know some of these aircraft are older and all that, but they say that both switches have stop lock mechanisms that require the pilot to lift the switch before changing the position. So you had to pull up and turn it before it would go into another position and then lock. So that was one safety mechanism, as they show right here, that they had on there. But good enough? I don't know at this point. Why should they have access? Why are they not permalocked? What good is it? What reason would they ever have to shut off gas in the middle of a flight? Is my question. Honestly, what? What is the real honest reason? I mean, is there any? Is there a valid reason? I can't seem to think of one. like there should be a process and all this when you start it up and go, that like the computers are giving it the fuel that it needs, which it is, and all this other stuff. But all they have these little automatic switches here to cut them off, to cut the gas off. Why? Like, in what situation ever would you want to cut the gas off while in flight? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me at all, at all, at all. In case one engine catches fire, they can still operate with the other one. Well, to me, there should be like automatic shut off on stuff like that, and like, I don't know, maybe, but at least you give some kind of response there. Engine fire and all that. Seems to me also that there should be like some kind of automatic thing, like if fire's detected in any part or place, like fuel's all shut off, and like, I don't know. It just seems like something that they could make better at this point. These are the questions that come at me. RIP and all the people that die on these flights, man. That's all I could say. Update here to the disaster. Well, we've had multiple disasters take place with flooding. Texas got ravaged here recently. We have people coming together, bringing in over $80,000 in equipment and aid to this area. They were able to feed like over 3,000 first responders and volunteers and people that were on the ground, which all that helps. It's huge. It's needed. When people are down there giving their time and energy for recovery, and it's really hard stuff because you're looking for bodies of people and everything else, and it's tough, to have people pitch in to come in and help out means everything. When it doesn't happen, there's a sense of being alone and that nobody else out there cares. I've seen these places get hammered. My own areas have been hammered. I've been through it. Exact same situation where floodwaters come through and wreck everything, wipe things off the foundation. People still missing, the whole nine, even to this day. And still a wasteland. Swing bridges wrecked, places gone, and again, people never found. But these events happen so much that, and in so many places these days, that like just a couple years, 2 or 3 years go by, people forget that what other place been hit. But it's all the time, all over the place, man. Prayers going out to everyone in Texas, and a thank you to everyone that helps them. Truly, they need it. You got to think about where. You got to think about your surroundings these days, unfortunately, because weather is a weapon, and you've got to keep that in mind no matter what you're doing, no matter where you're at. The potential, you always got to be checking that weather. It's something that I do religiously anymore. It's got to be part of the routine, because you just never know. You just never know, when they're going to whip up tornadoes, and one's coming through your neck of the woods and you ain't expecting it. When a massive storm all of a sudden, is creeping up, it can dump a foot or more of rain on you and the surrounding areas. Things that you probably pay attention to. I've seen on YouTube some of these Weather Channel dudes like blow up in the past 5 years, like enormous. Too bad many of them are sellouts, but and just in it for the money. Then they make God off money. They could be helping doing huge things, but only do a fraction of it. And I mean huge things. It's just crazy. Some people out here use all these events and movements to the fullest. It just sucks. Oh, shout out again to all the righteous people out there. They're just, throughout the years, man, I've been hard pressed to come across righteous people. I guess that's the gist of it. It sucks. It sucks. It really does. So many people out there just don't care about anything. Like I said, if I was able to tap into millions, was able to do something, I'd be going around helping the homeless, picking the veterans up off the street, showing people how it's supposed to be done when you're righteous. Someone's got to lead by example. At the same time, it's not like you go and like I've done homeless drives and help homeless people in different cities. And you wouldn't see me on video doing it because it's like not something to like be bragging about full scale, like some of these things you're just supposed to do for the Most High. You understand? You just do them because it's the right thing to do. And it's not about getting credit for it on social media and doing all this other stuff. So therefore, a lot of other people don't know it ever happened. But it's just the way that it is. You're putting in the work for the Most High. But sometimes people have to be shown that this is the way it is. That this is what you need to be doing. You need to be helping the people in your city. The veterans that are in the corner. Or you don't know who it is or wherever, just go ask. You got all these guys sleeping on the corner out there. Half of them might be on drugs, but some of them, guarantee you, are going to be clean veterans that are coherent. They have nothing. They've lost it all. And government surely don't care about them anymore. And I find value in that because these guys were trained to defend this country. They were trained to kill. They were trained to defend. They have knowledge and stuff that these young bucks out here could use. I could see something massive happen. It takes money to do it, but again, that's what I would do. And that'd make a huge change. Would it assassinate me, blow my head off at some point, the feds in one of these towns and cities because I'm doing it? Oh, well. Oh, wow. Wow. It was quick and easy. Went out righteous. Everybody's scared. Act like scared bitches. It's pathetic. Like, I don't care. Like, I'll go out here and I'll do what needs to be done. Like, everyone else should be willing to fight the fight for the Most High. And those that sit on tons of wealth and do nothing to help anyone else, shame on you. And you'll get judged on that. That it all comes out in the wash, and you'll tell them by their fruits. Truly, that's one of the biggest keys there, being able to tell people by the fruits of what they do. So, let me jump into this new MAGA bill that will affect Americans. May not have heard about it. This may be the first time. There's always a new bill. I told you the rescissions bill that came after the big ugly bill, as I called it. They always like to slide things in them. People have no clue what's in them. Therefore, when they're passed, they have no clue. They don't care. Air traffic control was in this one. So this new law provides $12.5 billion to the Transportation Department to institute long overdue reforms on the air traffic control system, because we've seen, they need it. We've seen the crashes, all the stuff, the issues repeatedly. We've seen delays come out of this, the stuff that, out of New Jersey that I reported on, and all types of other places. But that's more money going to those places. That way there's people in these towers, because some of these issues came down to, like, we had one man running like a 16-hour shift, working this tower by himself, and, blah blah blah, when there should be multiple people up there working different shifts and things like that. So when you overwork people and you're understaffed, you're going to have issues. So some of these places need to. But look, I'm going to tell you what Doge and them just did. They come in, they gutted the whole thing, like, oh, we saved money here, we saved money there, we saved money here. Dude, what they just did is wipe out a ton of stuff, including money that's going to stuff like Medicaid and healthcare stuff that's going to affect you and your family, that people are just oblivious to, because they think, oh, Trump has it in the bag or this and that, and they're just so brainwashed. You're about to see different. You're about to see different. Some of this, they say, goes toward education. It makes several notable tweaks to the federal education policy, and this also comes on the heels of them talking about eliminating the department altogether. First, this would reduce Pell Grant eligibility for high-income students and students with full-ride scholarships. The approximate $7 annual grant has long provided a boost to funding Americans' higher education. It also proposes 2 federal student loan repayment plans. You can see here on Medicaid and rural hospitals some of the changes that have drawn here recently from the other bills have already affected this, where people are like, what's going on? This new bill, they say some of the changes are drawn toward Medicaid, including changes that are expected to boot millions of beneficiaries off the entitlement program while potentially impacting rural hospitals. No, this is impacting rural hospitals already, and people are in denial. They can't believe it's the Trumpy and all of his policies here that is ramming this down their throat and making it worse. They have nowhere to put the blame, but they say it's not him. It's ridiculous. We're going to look at that here in a second. But it's all the stuff that they're doing. We tried to bring attention to the stuff that's in these bills. They say that the One Big Beautiful Bill Act includes new requirements for recipients of the supplement, basically SNAP, food stamps. The bill introduces more stringent work requirements for recipients, and it says currently able-bodied recipients between 18 and 54 must spend 80 hours a month volunteering, working, looking for a job, or being in school. The bill widens that window to 64 years of age. So between 18 and 64, pretty much up to retirement. I told you about the account for newborns. They're giving like $1,000 for newborns, for any baby born within the next 3 years or so on Trump's watch. $1,000 is, I mean, it's better than nothing, but it's a drop in the bucket, man. For anyone out there, and you know this, one-time $1,000, but when everyone's scraping by, it'll take every bit of help that they can get. Problem is that it seems they've set a trap where they're trying to get everybody dependent on the government for whether it's healthcare, food stamps, whatever it is. And then they're subservient to the government, to the beast. When this gets to a certain point, if you don't listen to what they say, they can cut you off from that. So those are a few things right there I just want to touch on connected to that. The number of Americans dealing with food insecurity has almost doubled since 2021. That's shocking, crazy numbers. That the number of Americans dealing with food insecurity doubles since just 2021. U.S. stores are closing at the fastest pace on record. And no, we're not under Joe Biden here still in the wrecking ball. This is under Trump. And I told you, this is all going to be like a controlled demolition. Sound familiar? I call it the economic 9/11. And that's what's happening. And thank you, Wake Up America, for the coffees and the support. Much love. God bless. Love the name. Indeed, Wake Up America. Whoa. To those in the belly of the beast. So the U.S. economy has been crumbling for a long time. Of course, Trump, hasn't been in there too long at all, and you can't put it all on him at this point. But any of these new policies and bills they're ramming down the throats of people is only going to make things worse. And you can definitely put the whole tariff thing on him 100%. One recent survey discovered that 70% of Americans are the most financially stressed that they have ever been in their entire lives. Yeah. 70% of Americans are the most financially stressed they've ever been in their lives. That figure alone tells us that we have major economic crises going on. The cost of living has been rising faster than paychecks have been. Most of the country just barely scraping month to month. Anyone who attempts to deny this is just not living in reality. Or they're wealthy and better off. Which that's fine to have some be better off and in a better position. But when you have an exorbitant amount of it, with the most I watching, I'd be doing righteous things with it. And most of the Americans out there right now struggling. It's just the way that it is. 15.6% of our entire population dealing with this. That's a pretty high number for, the land of the free, America. So, people are growing hungry on a regular basis. So this causes food banks to pop up all over the place. For example, demand at the food bank in Philadelphia is up 120% over the past 3 years. So Philly, seeing a huge influx, and not only crime and things like that, but you can see what the underlying issue here: no jobs. People can't even get food. When is it? What day do you wake up and it's like, all right, we're in a depression? Because I told you we're in a recession. We had been the entire lockdown phase. It got the whole ball rolling. We've been in that like the whole time. They just started to admit that not long ago, and a huge economic event would send us into a depression by design. So just imagine food banks up right now 120% over the past 3 years. That would skyrocket. That would go up to like over 1,000%. The Atlanta food bank demand is up 60% over the past 3 years. It's showing that the issue is particularly severe in the South, where nearly 90% of the counties with high food insecurity rates are located. And that's out of Georgia. And the people that are just, I can't stand some of the people out there that are like, just stop talking about it. Like it's going to go away or fix anything. Just like Epstein, just stop talking about it. Like you people you're the problem. You are the problem. Trying to cheek the pedos and everything else, man, you are the problem. A clinic here. And this is what I'm going to tell you right here. This is a good story that shows the ignorance. A clinic blames its closing on Trump's Medicaid cuts. Okay? But the patients there don't buy it. So the clinic's saying, oh no, this is what's happening. Okay? That we're shutting down. And the CEO is saying these Medicaid cuts have done it. And the people are like, what do you mean? They're like, we have to shut down because of the Medicaid cuts. Well, why is that? What Medicaid cuts? The ones Trump just put into legislation, just signed. No, that can't be. There's no way. No. No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. That is what these people are doing. They're in absolute denial. They're getting smacked in the face with the frying pan, and they need it. There's these idiots out there. It's this kind of ignorance, that straight stupidity, choosing to live in a lie right in the open, that's got us in this position. Because they got a whole mass of people to do this. Like brainwashed zombie lemmings walking around, literally, at this point. And, everything starts crumbling, and Trump is to blame for these things. And anything he's to blame for, they will not talk about it. They will not accept it. They will not say it. They'll say, stop talking about it. Like Epstein. Like, they're up here trying to cover up for pedos. You want us to stop talking about it? Never. As long as it got breath in this body, we'll be talking about it. You punk bitches. Excuse my French, but that's what you deserve to be called. It's pathetic. Always copping out. So here you've got, again, the CEO telling these people straight up, look, we're shutting down. You're going to have to find something else. And like, there is nothing else. He said, well, go blame Trump. And like, it's not his fault. He's like, garbage. Like, they get frustrated and ticked off with it too. So it's time to put the blame where it deserves to be. I guess people just sat back and thought this wrecking ball that Elon was swinging on, like his Miley Cyrus back and forth, on all this stuff wasn't going to ever affect them. They never questioned or asked who's going to jail for all this. They never said nothing. Like a bunch of brainwashed clowns, they never said nothing. They came in and told you people stole trillions. Nobody's been prosecuted for it. No one. It's black magic at its finest. And it continues on a daily basis. So the people get these rude awakenings like this one, where they're so, again, brainwashed and under the spell that they hit a brick wall moment. Like they're forced to have to accept the reality that your Gentile Messiah did this. He's to blame. They look around. Did you hear that? And then all of a sudden the world starts to crumble because they thought that they were in this clique, this group, this gang called MAGA for the rest of their days or something. That was just going to be all peachy and the easy way out. No. It's about to be a nightmare because you chose to do this. It's about time. People had a choice back in the day. Hop on the Trump train. Go make your money, shill it, sell all your items, sell all your products. Get rich off of it and all that crap. Use the people, use the movement, or not. Or not. And very few didn't, like me, that sat here and passed on all of it. Because I knew one day this would end up coming. It'd all come out in the wash. And people would see all this for what it is. And you would end up seeing those who awaken, the shills that walked you down the road and sold you out and walked you into this whole thing. Your Bannons, your Prosobics, your RFKs, all of them, all of them. And yeah, it sucks when you feel like you've been played, if you have been played. But it's better to awaken to it, to know the truth. Again, don't kill the messenger. But that's often what happens. I catch so many knives. But people fake me later when they wake up. Like, yo, thank you. I hated you. I cussed you. But then they come back and they thank me later like, thank you. I'm sorry. And I accept that. It's cool. They're like, will you unblock me? Well, yeah. Yeah. It's all good. It's a defining moment. Gladly. Because you've awakened. You see the bigger picture, and it's a struggle because a lot of people don't want to believe that it's this set up, that we're this screwed. They just don't want to believe it. They'd rather live in a fairy tale every day. It's more comfortable for them. But one day that bubble pops, like it is now for many people. And whether it's Epstein whether it's Medicaid, whether it's them genociding people in Gaza, or whatever it is. These are the feds, man. They tricked everyone into falling in love with them. Do you understand? The same old federal government, same old feds, same old establishment that has tricked everybody this time into falling in love with what they called a dream team and all this. And it worked large scale. But now it's falling apart. And we need to accelerate that. Because that means it's an awakening happening. The curtain's dropping. And look, we have a power. You have to use it. Use it or lose it, man. The people need not be shunned, just like I told you last time. Anyone that's not pure blood, anyone took a jab, I don't hate you, or this and that. And because many of them people woke up. It sucks they had to go through it and they got the jab. They had to learn the hard way, but they woke up. That's all that matters at this point. You got to get people woke up, because this next round, this next time, it's not going to be like that. The next, I really, truly believe it will be the mark. The next time around. The Bill Gates 666 Luciferus jab that leaves a mark on you. Literally an X that was never used during lockdowns. It's still sitting there. It will be, and it's patented 666. I mean, it's marked. It's all there for you to see. Next time they lock this whole place down, that will be utilized globally. And if you don't have it, you get shot dead. Because you're tainted. Anyway, that's a whole different one. People aren't even ready for that. That's like the end game. Like, it's hard for me to believe that they'll launch that one. Before they try this economic move. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe this walks everything into their economic move. If they do it first. Which is even scarier. Because this is the one event that I fear I won't make it out of. I know I won't make it out of. You'll never see me again on the other side of it. Just simply because of the mark. Everything I just told you. They start locking this place down and bodies are really dropping and people are dying. You know, everyone around you is not, they're not even going to argue. When people are actually dying this time, they're just going to take the jab. When they're at gunpoint and all this other stuff, people are going to take it. Even pure bloods are going to take it. That's right. In the moment they do, they're going to know. They're going to know every second. Are they going to say, but I had to. But I had to. But I had to. That's what they're all going to say. But I had to. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You were warned about this moment your whole life. Spiritually and all. So when it unfolds, manifests in this reality, for you to bitch out, you'll know it. You'll know it. Your soul will know it. And you'll know what? You'll know then that you condemned yourself. We were warned about this moment forever. Nick, nobody just makes it the ride out easy. Yeshua didn't. Jesus didn't. Look what they did to him. You know, every single prophet, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Peter, they were all murdered. Heinously, whether boiled in oil, hung upside down, hung from a tree, drugged to the streets by their neck till they're dead. Only very few have ever left here in the flesh on record with God. God snatched them up, you know. And I don't see nobody in this day and age walking righteous like that. Like no one's like righteous at all. I try to give people the keys and even though some utilize it, most don't. Like raising the chrism and walking righteous. And there's more to life than what most people are observing. There's higher. You're here to master these things, not to sit there like a bump on a log and like somebody on a couch potato eating junk food all day, so to speak. Like you're supposed to be here bettering things. Or mastering things. overcoming the temptation, because you all have it. Every single person has it. You know you need to get out and take a walk, but no, you just want to sit there and sit on the couch, do this, and then you make an excuse for it. Like all these different things people make excuses for. You need to master it. Anyhow, I'm not going to spend much time on that because people don't seem to care. People don't seem to care for the jewels and the goods, is what I've said. They're, for the most part, even here tonight, a bunch just here for entertainment and to get some of the updated news and what's going on. When I start talking about, the way out and this and that, they really don't care. So they'll stay here. Bitcoin tops 123K, smashes new records. I can kind of care less. It's an asset that's moving. If you can make money in it, that's great. That's all. That's what I really care about. Is if you can make moves in it. That's all. If you can sell dip, buy dips, sell tips, and you can profit at it, and you can get ahead in this evil world, then more power to you. Same with gold. Same with silver. I've been telling you forever. Gold and silver is throughout to go. You can see that they're both doing their thing. I've been saying that since like 2015, 2016, going on a decade. In a lot of states, taking away the taxes on gold and silver, and a lot of crypto projects also that are American made are said to be tax exempt per Eric Trump. So that's a lot of tax-free stuff right there you can invest in. It never used to be that way. Really, it makes me think that this whole thing's about to come down. These are just some of the little things that we're going to do right in the end, like a little treat before they brought it down. But also, this shows you states are preparing. States, like many states, are now like accepting gold and silver as legal tender. Okay, I'll look for that, Pamela. But Bitcoin smashing 123K. Satoshi Nakamoto becomes the world's 11th richest person. Garbage. We know who Satoshi is. You can go out here and you can watch all these stupid people or shells. They're either ignorant or they're lying. It's one of the two. Sit there and be like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I heard the feds might be it, but oh, yeah. Act like, and they laugh it off. Like the feds could be like there's some conspiracy theory that it's like connected. It ain't conspiracy theory, you fools. It's a fact that Bitcoin is built on the hash that was created by the NSA. Get it right. All right, get the right knowledge on. All right, and that's a fact. All right, which tells me high probability, if you ask me who Satoshi is, it's the NSA. And you can go be a moron in the corner and think otherwise for all these different reasons because shills brainwashed you with it. I don't care. Okay, at this point, your ignorance is it's on you. Okay? Some of these people out here are like, done. Explain. I'm just going to drop the goods and go. TNF, thank you for that silver. Ain't much love. Definitely, if you're sitting on silver right now, it pays. So Satoshi, again, is the NSA. The NSA becomes the world's 11th richest person, is how that title should read to you. Let me fix it for you. Edward, thank you for the coffee. Much love. I appreciate that. To the fullest here at the top of the hour. Just check in with some things here. Dang, first hour flew by quick. Yeah, at me there in the chat at Dabu7. Dabu7 at yahoo.com, the email for anyone just tuning in. Make sure to subscribe. Any of the best ways to support the channel: buy me a coffee, PayPal. And I appreciate it all. Everyone that shares it and gets it out there, it's all appreciated to the fullest. When you share it, you get it out there in front of eyes that I can't reach. I'm so heavily censored, it's pathetic. And there's no changing it. I always will be. It's just a testament to being on the right side of this, on the true side of it, fighting the real fight. It's just one of the crappy things that happens. You can never really overcome because they control all this. That's why I depend on you. That's why I say fighting the fight. When you sharing is caring for real. You just don't understand. It's like other people around you are not going to wake up if you don't take the initiative to get this knowledge to them. I've cleaned up my act and all this stuff just so I could reach those people. Quit cussing them and all my streams, and predominantly throughout these years, just so I could reach those other people. Someone scared to share the stream because I might drop an F-bomb in the middle of it. Okay, well, I just won't do it no more. And then now what's your excuse? Now what's your excuse? Well, I said bitch earlier, but that's like once in a blue moon, dude. And it's not even technically a cuss word. So, how many cups of coffee are needed to shield against liver disease? This is, people are like this, anyone that drinks coffee. And I've told you, there's a lot of upside to coffee, believe it or not. There's been a lot of positive health stories that I've touched on in the past several years connected to coffee, surprisingly. You've got all these really super bad ones coming out about energy drinks. The taurine in it, let me remind everybody, if you missed it, the taurine, it says it right there on the can of some of these. It's directly connected now to blood cancer. Again, the energy drinks out there, they have taurine in them, which is a ton, directly connected to blood cancer. They've come out and they said this. I say that so hopefully someday somebody will stop and quit. I quit all these things, man. I used to drink Mountain Dews all the time. I used to drink energy drinks all the time. Like, I had this epiphany, man. Like, God hit me. It's like I tried to tell all you guys, you're here to master your life and to overcome these things, not just be a waste, are you? And that, now it could be a waste then. I'm going to do something about it. See, I could feel something watching constantly. I could feel a higher power observing all this. And I know it's constantly observing. And it's constantly, I can feel it like somebody watching me behind me. And like when you develop this, it changes you. You realize you're not just here by yourself. You're not even in the bathroom by yourself. You're not nowhere by yourself. Like something is always watching everything that you're doing. And we'll run around this life oblivious to this. They have no connection. They've severed it. They severed it because of the way they live. I'm going to tell you straight up, and I try to give you these keys all the time. If you live the way that they asked and do the things they asked, you can make this connection, make it stronger, and you'll feel it, and you'll understand the higher levels of this life and the meanings of all this stuff. But the longer you ignore it, it's time wasted. But living healthy is a no-brainer. If things are saying that they're healthy, like coffee, they're saying consumption has been linked with a lower rate of CLD, which is chronic liver disease. So this is huge. This means that it proves that I'm drinking coffee again, just another plus here. It's helping the liver. It reduces the CLD in all the tests in the patients, which is key. So God is good. Got that right, Daily. And thank you for everything you do. Some of you are real riders and always there through thick and thin. And I thank you. Tesla integrates Grok in the AI chatbot inside of its vehicle. And this is kind of, if you're going to have a vehicle like this, like you better have a backup. Like you better have, I don't know. I personally don't want to live in a smart home. I don't even want to like go somewhere and stay in a cabin up in the mountains or somewhere and they have like smart appliances in it or smart anything or an Alexis plugged in. It's the first thing I'm going to plug in. Like, it's like all that. Better not have a smart fridge or like, like none of it. I don't want things spying on me and listening to me like that. All right, it's already bad enough your phone is and all this other stuff, but like if you go out of your way to like ditch the phone and you want to get out into some peacefulness somewhere away from all this, you get all the way up into the mountains and then like got Alexis there, and again all these smart devices in a cabin. It's like garbage. Like I don't want none of that. It's the same with these vehicles. You get in the vehicle, yeah. The vehicle, in a sense, it's a bit different than a home, obviously. But and technology is good to certain degrees. But they're saying that right now, this new software update is gonna it's gonna turn Grok into like this Alexa. Like it's gonna be listening to everything, spying on everything. It's funny that down here in the bottom, they say that you might want to keep an unintelligent backup vehicle that has 0 microchips in it. Like a 1970s Mercedes 240 diesel with 0 microchips or something like that. Because if everything was to get hit and wiped out, all the chips hit in an EMP or something crazy, as we said before, all those vehicles would be rendered useless. These pre-1970 would stay rolling. So you would see cats out there running around in these older vehicles, in older looking military vehicles too. They will be rolled out if that happened. All not having any of these chips in them. I definitely have one old school vehicle that runs good and can get around for sure. If you can. If you can. Yeah, and much love again, TNF, brother. Thank you for fighting the fight and everything you do, man. An update to Akon. He was hot back like a decade ago or something, with some songs. He was a rapper, singer, this and that. You either have heard of him and remember him or you don't. Well, he made all this money and he started this whole Back to Africa movement like so many others before him have, and failed. This is the same deal. Failed again. All this talk about all this stuff is going to go into it, and it ends up the country here in Africa, where he was planning to do this Akon City project. They say that no, it's done. The whole thing's terminated. There will be nothing. And he's running out of money himself. I just think they got money forever from some of the stuff, and then they go try and do this, and then they hit one hiccup, and they can't never go back. And he's finding out the hard way. You ain't never gonna go drop a platinum record again. Like the way it works out here, like only the King of Kings in terms of music, like the top, like the Elvises and all that. We're dropping stuff like this. Most of these cats in the game these days, in the music industry, they're here for a generation or for a small window, and then it's someone else. They're replaced, and you don't even hear the music anymore. Again, not a lot of people out there familiar with Akon, but they can't. They find out the hard way. You get this. They go back to dropping an album, and it does nothing. It's because the industry doesn't need you no more. And just like some football player that burned through all of his money that can't never get any more because he's not young and fresh no more, and all this other stuff. Like, there's just no going back and getting an opportunity again. Like, once you blow through your 50 million, like you blew through your 50 million. This was a $6 billion construction effort. I don't know, man. That's. I mean, props for dreaming big and all that stuff. That's not. I'm not hating. It's just some of these guys get these big dreams, and I don't know. The reality sets in that it's not going to work. We've seen this time and time again. He's just the latest victim of this. And if someone could build something that's prosperous, more power to them. But it just proves that it's a lot harder to do than what someone thinks. So again, that was a $6 billion project. They couldn't achieve it. All right, gonna move on to some updates here. In Florida, you got a man starting a fight with some people here, and he gets wrecked by a police officer in the end. It's pretty funny, and we'll play these clips here.
Turn around, loser! You won't do it! Get out, boy!
He didn't put
Get out, boy! Come on! You won't do anything!
Get out, boy.
He doesn't have his car parked. That's great.
Get out of your car, loser! Let's go!
That's part 1. Then we got a part 2 here.
Show me, show boy. Look at this guy. Look at you, bro. Come on. Where you at? Oh, let's go.
I'm watching.
Let's go. Come on. Put you in the bathroom. Come on. Come close. Jump. Come close. You ready? You ready? Oh, you want some? You ready? Come on. Come on. Your car. They're gonna steal your car. They're gonna steal your car.
Hey, come over here.
Oh, There we go. We got the arrest.
I don't know what started this, but like, you know, you see funny, crazy crap that happens out there, like out of nowhere sometimes. And like, that was one of those things. This one here. All right. That was Florida. What we just saw. Florida has on the books a law to where if protesters try to surround your vehicle and you run them over, you're not to blame. Like, they're to blame. Every state's different. I'm telling you. Things to think about here. And like right here, this is New Jersey, a 62-year-old woman charged for doing the exact same thing, for driving through an anti-ICE protester crowd after they spit on her and began to attack her vehicle and everything else. She didn't absolutely floor it. She just did a little surge and then a little surge and then a little surge as they all continued to mob her vehicle. But they're charging her. So, do you want to move to Jersey, honey, or do you want to move to Florida? If those are the options, like, you know, this may pop up. We may see protests, so we may be caught in an environment like this. What if we get surrounded by a mob of people just trying to go to the grocery store, and we have to flee for our lives? Do you want to be charged with it? I think not. So Jersey, out the window. It's just ridiculous. So, some of the laws on the books in some of these places. John, thank you for the coffees, my brother. Much love. God bless. Thank you. So this woman, I'm going to play the clip here so you can see. There's actually, I think, a couple here. Yeah, there's two here. I'm going to play this. Right, there's a vehicle taking off after I got through them. Play it again. And like, all right, that person hit the ground. Right, this person here might have been like the only one that came in contact with the vehicle that I could see here, potentially here. Yeah, and I don't even know if maybe hit him and knocked him out of the way, but didn't run him over from that angle. And you can see here, this is how it started. He went up and spit in her face.
He spit in her face. Oh no. Oh no. He spit in her face.
Spit in her face, and then he like acted like she knocked him down. So this is what the vehicle did. Searched for it, and then finally, got through there. They were attacking the vehicle. Like, again, do you want to live in a state where you're a sitting duck? That's how I feel with some of these states, man. You're a sitting duck. You're being set up. You're set up for disaster, for failure by your state, by these laws, man. In these situations, it just every state different. Everyone's got the stuff they're dealing with. I get it. All right, so check this out. You may see a protest near you again. Over 400 protests set to erupt against the Trump admin. I don't see this going away. I see this happening all the time. It's only going to grow as long as he's in office. These are going to take place nationwide. When? In 3 days. July 17th. Rallies being called Good Trouble Lives On will take place on the anniversary of the death of Democratic activist and Congressman John Lewis. It is a nod to his famous call to action, get in good trouble, necessary trouble, which he used to encourage people to participate in protests. Now, as many other recent nationwide protests, as you saw, we had the No Kings thing, is what it was called. It was organized by the 50501 movement. It stands for 50 protests, 50 states, one movement. So 50501. It itself described as being led by people who have been on the front lines of justice and all this other stuff, but we know all this links back to the funding. We've exposed it time and time again in the NGOs. But you're going to see this spring into motion. The 17th, which is Thursday, odd day for it to go into motion. It may be something they start on a Thursday and they try to make it super active through the weekend. We have seen that. It is summer. It is time for that. And they are protesting nationwide. So this could get hot on a Thursday evening and then spill into the weekend like we've seen in past events and literally have a weekend of chaos. I mean, it's out there. You have anyone that's watching TV, if you've got cable these days, which I don't, or anything like that, I haven't in a long time, a lot of people sitting around their TVs getting brainwashed by The View and Sonny Hostin, Whoopi Goldberg, and all them. They're people they have on there. They keep on calling for violence, like left and right. I mean, it's all the time. I don't see how they get away with it. They do it so much, but they're saying that violence against these ICE agents is part of a justified reckoning, which is crazy. Because if we were to say a word, if I was to say a word right now, you never see me again. They'd shut the place down so fast. Like, you know, like you need, if anyone calling for violence to go out and do violence, like out here, any one of us, they would attack.
CBP officials in McAllen, Texas. Several people were injured. The perpetrator was actually neutralized, but that's also something we don't want to see, is an uptick in violence against law enforcement who are doing their jobs. So if you have a problem with this, talk to your lawmaker. That's the place to do it.
If they would do their jobs the way that I think they should be doing their jobs, which is unmasked without disappearing people from the streets, I don't think that the public would feel as endangered. Because if someone approaches my loved one who's undocumented with a mask, how do I know that they're actual law enforcement? How do I know that they work for ICE? So that's one thing I'll say.
There's actually people who have impersonated ICE officers.
Hey, whoa. Why is your loved one going to be associated with illegals? Period. Like, in my book, there's no excuse for this. When it comes to illegals, they are illegal. The whole migrant thing, yeah, this country's built on migrants, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I get it. 100%. That's fine. Do it the legal way. Done. Should these dudes be rounded up and sent out of the country that are here illegally? Yes, they should, because they're here illegally. Should migrants that are here legitimately be getting messed with? No, they should not. And that's the issue. That's one of the biggest issues here, is people that shouldn't be getting caught in this are getting caught in this. People that got families, that did everything the right way, that jumped through all the hoops, that got family and kids here, they are getting rounded up and sent out of here. We've seen it. That is an issue. Okay? But the murderers, the rapists, to sit there and defend any one of them is disgusting. And like, it's treasonous. Like, I know we're up against the beast here, obviously. And the Trump and all them are not good people. But like, at the same time, it's crazy that you can sit here and see these people call for violence again openly. But if any like right-wing white male out here did it whatsoever, they'd crucify him. Assassinating. See how that works? And Steve, thank you again for the super chat earlier. Where's that at? Smoke pulling 50 miles away, another behind me. Is it out of Colorado? Got fires going, it seems, in Colorado. Some zombie. So this is what Trump wants his legacy to be afterwards. I was going to play a couple of these clips. It's comical to me because your base is cracking now. I don't know. He wants to be remembered by these things.
When history looks back on this time in our country, when history looks back on you, how would you like to be remembered?
A good person, but a person that saved our country. I really believed our country was going down for the fall. I don't know if it ever could have come back. It was very close to the edge. And I really would like to be known as the man that saved our country.
Gentile Messiah. It's all falling apart for you.
But they briefed me, and I'm satisfied with it. I'm satisfied with it. They should have had somebody in the building. That was a mistake. They should have had communications with the local police. They weren't tied in. And they should have been tied in. So there were mistakes made. And that, shouldn't have happened. And that building was a prime building in terms of what they were trying to do. So, but I was satisfied in terms of the bigger plot, the larger plot. I was satisfied. And, I have great confidence in these people. I know the people.
Talking about?
They're very talented, very capable. They had a bad day, and I think they'll admit that. They had a rough day. This is a very dangerous job, being president. I say a race car driver,
garbage.
1% of 1%. Think of that. Die. It's not a lot.
I don't buy nothing with that event, that staged event. Nope. Here's one, though. President Trump responds to New York Times autopen bombshell, revealing the Biden did not sign on all pardons. This is a pretty juicy one because think of all the people. This is a huge scandal. Think of all the people that were pardoned in this, all the criminals. All right. Now you're going to say that the autopen was used, that Biden didn't actually do it. That means that they're all null and void. Oh, wow. Remember when I showed you that there looked like there was only one pardon that Joe Biden signed off himself in the flesh with his own writing, his own hand, and that was his son's, Hunter's. He signed off with that. All the rest was done by autopen, even Fauci. Let's watch this.
I mean, you're talking about the autopen. Look, the autopen, I think, is maybe one of the biggest scandals that we've had in 50 to 100 years.
Oh, it couldn't be Epstein.
This is a tremendous scandal. And I know the people on the other side of the, see that desk, that Resolute desk? Unfortunately, he used it before me. But, we have our choice of 7 desks. They're all beautiful. But I chose the Resolute, and so did he, unfortunately. But the people on the other side of the Resolute desk, I know them. Lisa, the whole group, and they're no good. They're sick people. And I guarantee he knew nothing about what he was signing. I guarantee it.
You know all these people, just like you knew Epstein, huh? Like, why are none of them in jail? Again, like, I'm so sick of this crap. I'm so sick of it. Like, I learned a long time ago, the fakeness of all this. And I figured that the rest of the crowd would have caught on, like, when he was saying Hillary for prison. This was an easy one, and he never did it. That's why I always repeat it. That was the beginning of showing the ignorance, the stupidity of the people following this man. But, they were genius with the whole thing. They stacked him up against the idiot and the whole thing. And everyone's counter was like, what were we supposed to do? Vote for Biden? That's always the counter. Like, oh, you're a Biden supporter? They're going to try to switch it on you and do all this crap. That's garbage. Nope, that don't work around here. No. Like, you're an idiot because you fell for the trap, the left-right paradigm. The whole time. What do you mean left-right paradigm? It's a conspiracy garbage. Like, this. Stay in your stupid bubble, and that's where you'll stay. And you'll stay being played. Maybe one day. I don't know what it'd be. What if Epstein and him covering pedos and backing genocide and doing all these things are not enough for you? I could not name worse charges than backing genocidal maniacs and covering for pedos. I could not name worse charges. It's the creme de la creme of evil. There's no protecting it. So anyone trying to do it is just, again, they're either in on it or ignorant. Ignorant in a sense that, black magic is real. I tell you this all the time. That is what is doing this. Look, Rand Paul says he will reissue a criminal referral for the autopen pardon for Fauci. So this is juicy because under oath, he said all this stuff, and they said that the fact that he was pardoned means that he cannot plead the fifth. So they can get him on trial before all this. He can't plead the fifth, and he has to answer questions. Then if Trump wants to come back later and do away with pardons and all this or the judge rules that all these pardons are invalid later down the road, that's a separate move. And it very well will happen now that it's all being shown as a scandal. But who knows in this freaking game? It's so set up and such a scam. Again, Hillary in prison. The upper echelon of these goons never gets touched. And Trump's been in the club in all these parties for years. People need to wake up, smell the roses, coffee, whatever it is, whatever it takes for them to see the truth. You lived through a lie. You lived through lockdowns. All the scandal. It was a fake thing, which began on Trump's watch. Understand, Epstein was arrested on Trump's watch. Epstein died on Trump's watch, and it was covered up on Trump's watch. People are ignorant. Anyhow, some of these players are deep players in the game, and a lot of this is a circus show, man. Again, you can do all these things, and if you get it up to a federal level or a judge level, and a judge says this or that, it's done. Then what are you going to do? What can anybody do? What's anybody going to do? They can do nothing. Just like always. You do nothing. I will say this, though. Like, the base is cracking. Man, it feels good. It feels good because that means people are waking up. And that's what we fight this fight for. Does it feel good? Just sit and make fun of somebody like it's high school. It's not that. It feels good because people are waking up and seeing the truth. And sometimes it's a bad experience for them. Some people can't handle it. It's a paradigm shift. Shatters the reality. Everything ain't all warm and fuzzy like it was, and it never will be again. In terms of that, living in that fake little MAGA world. Just a MAGA girl living in a MAGA world, huh? All these shells out here. Pathetic, man. I don't know. The day that one looks in the mirror and they realize it and they jump ship and they're like, I'm done with this. Like, I congratulate a person for that because something inside of you woke up to it. And again, maybe it was Warp Speed. Maybe it was Gaza. Maybe it was Epstein now. Protecting pedos and all this stuff. There's a fine line for some people where they just, that's it. The buck stops here. Like, hold on. You're not going to expose these pedos now? Like, this is where it all changes. I'm telling you, they're in so much damage control on this. You can tell this is the biggest blow that's been dealt to MAGA ever. Ever. This is the biggest crack ever in MAGA. Ever. That's why I'm just going to keep driving wedges in it and just fuel the fire, baby. Because in the end, it's just waking people up is what it's doing. If you can get them to see this reality, it will be an explosion of awakening. Oh, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. It's hard to get and hard to achieve. I pray to the Most High helps bring it about. I have been, and I'll continue. It looks like something's happening. So you have to believe. If you're just sitting there doing nothing, you're not praying, you're talking to the Godhead, you're not asking for forgiveness, thanking Him for everything. If you're not speaking things into existence, you are just wasting everything. Get up and take an action. Go in a direction. Do something. So Trump is getting ratioed for the first time. What is ratioed? Ratioed is where all of a sudden, when he's putting something out, it's getting way more comments than likes. Okay? Usually when they show and they blast their stuff out there and there's all this positive stuff, winning, there'd be a ton of likes and all this other stuff, and there'll be comments, but the likes would be huge. It's like, this is why YouTube removed them. That's why YouTube removed the downvotes, because the influence was so huge. Do you understand? It's crazy. That's how censored all of this is. Even the platform you're listening to right now won't even show you freely the freedom of downvotes, even though it used to be used as a weapon and still would be against me. Because the shills and the trolls used to come and they used to hang on my videos 50, 100 thumbs down, all before the video even started. I'm sure they missed that. I'm sure they missed that. They're like, damn, there were days. Yeah, days when you go and attack the real deal. Some of you suck bad. You should be out here attacking these other guns. Out here attacking the real. I mean, it's a shame on you. It's a shame when you tell them by the fruits. You can be a troll. You can be in here doing the work out here, but it's like there's cats out here that deserve some things. You know, like you gotta be smart about where you're putting in your time. But I've been out here for so long that even I've got trolls that follow me, ugly troll, and other ones, a bunch of other ones out there that give me props and respect and real recognize real. So. And salutes to all you guys out there that fight the good fight. You know who you are. I can appreciate someone that fights the fight versus people that don't. But it just reminds me of that. The whole ratio thing reminds me of how I used to get attacked and the whole thumbs down thing, blah, blah, blah. But apparently he got hit with a ton more negative comments than anything. It's because people are pissed. And what's this on? Bondi, Bongino, Epstein, the whole thing. Let's dive in. Well, first off, let me throw a distraction out there. Let me tell you that the Trump administration is cooking up major criminal charges in a case against the Russiagate plotters. Ooh. The boogeyman. Like, nobody cares about that now, dude. Like, you people are stupid. Black magic done wore off. We see you cut you with your pants down. Like, y'all busted for what you are. All right? Done. It's done here. Like, who cares? You think Dan Bongino Patel? I don't care what kind of case you're saying you're cooking up. You're all criminals. Bongino Patel, it's done. You get it. It's done. It's done. We trust none of you. You're all on the same team. Think you're going to sit there and try. Who cares about this crap? You see what they're doing? They're literally trying to throw the base off with this. Off of Epstein with this. Ain't working, buddy. Ain't sticking. Ain't working. Back to the drawing board, gentlemen. Y'all suck. Okay? Democrats all of a sudden pouncing They suddenly care about the Epstein files. They moved to force disclosure. Now, I'm going to say from here, anything that gets put out is going to manufactured is the best word for it. Manufactured for a specific result that, oh yeah, it will be. Who knows? Some couldn't even see this happening, right? But maybe, what if their end result is they want chaos and war, and like they put the list out and Trump's name is on it, and like all this other crap. Like, what? Look, I've got video of Kash Patel just going on Benny Shill's freaking X channel and telling it straight up. He says it. You can go look it up on the channel yourself. I wish I had it right here to play. Kash Patel says straight up, he goes, "Oh, it'll never be released because of the people that are on it." He's like, "You don't think that Bill Gates isn't lobbying every single day?" This comes out of Kash Patel's mouth. So, dude, are you freaking kidding me? Like, you just said it yourself, Kash. Like, this is ridiculous. And you're going to say that there's a list, and then that means you're bold-faced lying to the people. How can you go on Benny Shill's show and even say that? And then turn around on Fox News and sit there and say there is no list? How, dude, this is like these dudes, none of them are to be trusted. I'm telling you, go look it up. Go to Benny Johnson's, which I can't believe I'm saying this. He's a huge government shill. He's on Twitter, on X, white boy glasses. He has an interview with Kash Patel, and Kash Patel straight up says that. He goes, of course. He goes, they don't want the release of the people. They're protecting the people. He says it. I'll give him the props. Kash Patel says it there. He says the truth there. Why are you turning around lying on the other hand then? All of a sudden saying there's no list on mainstream news. Like, dude, y'all suck. Again, you're not for the people. You're enemies. Then you wonder why people like us get up here and say you're the enemy? Because you are. You will tell them by the fruits. Doesn't matter, man. You chose this path. You chose to go down the beast path to worship what you worship. You chose all this, man. You choose to be in this club that works this way. You chose this. You wanted this. Right. You wanted to be controlled by the Mossad. Didn't you? Didn't you, Kash? You're in bed with it every night. He's laying next to it right now. We would be kidding. He is Mossad. We're done. If you don't know, Kash Patel's girlfriend is part of the 82nd 100. She's straight Mossad. Okay? And just look up the clips. Dan Bongino. Oh, what's the one thing you hold close to your heart, Dan Bongino? Oh, it's got to be Israel. Like, oh, Israel. Mossad again, really? Jeez, oh, Pete. Is it America? Isn't our U.S. Constitution? Is it nothing like that? Is it? Nope. At least the truth came out. It's just the idiots around us that sit there and stare at it. Like, duh. It's like, look, they just showed you they're all controlled by the Mossad. Like, you idiots. They'll be over there, Trump 2028. Like, dude. You've been smacked with the stupid stick too many times. All right. So, Trump says he spoke to Bongino. He says he isn't going anywhere. He says, spoke to him today. He's a very good guy. I've known him for a long time. He's in good shape. And basically saying that that's the man. And that if anybody was going to end up going, so all the shills were saying, quickly, it was going to be Bongino. Not Bongino, it was going to be Bondi. But not even that. Trump came out and defended Bondi and says that the whole team's solid. We're all good. Even people, if they're disagreeing, isn't that? But this just shows the level of hostility. That video clip showed you the level of hostility and tension around the subject. If there wasn't nothing going on, we all know it, then it wouldn't be that tense. But we all know it's major. I honestly can't believe that they were so stupid themselves, the government, like to think the people would not get mad about this. Like, I don't know if they were thinking this was going to be a void moon or something, how they miscalculated, but like the people fully were aware of all this, and there was no sliding this out there thinking that it wasn't going to stick. They messed up bad on this one. the only way to do it. And like the fact that they gave no list was like they would have done better, believe it or not, to put out a weak list of like half dead individuals and people that are in jail, and there's a few names on there they would explain away, blah blah blah, and let you chew on that. They didn't. It seems like Trump is very, very, very involved in this whole thing with Epstein. Even though they try to say, all this and that and blah blah blah. I'm gonna play some clips here that are interesting. Trump said in this clip, this is the old one, Lex Fridman on his podcast. I'm not gonna play it. Man, he could barely keep his eyes open the whole time. Look, he was stoned, and he said, "Yeah, I'll probably release them. I'll probably release them files. All right, for all you goons out there that say, oh, you try to act like Trump was with Epstein all the time. It was all one party. Like, you're stupid. You're in denial. You're ignorant. You know it. Like, if you get tired of me calling you stupid, then like quit being stupid. All right. Look, see these images? They got different outfits on in every one. See all the ties? They're all different. That means that you're every single one a different occasion when Trump was with Epstein and Ghislaine. All the freaking time. You're not with someone like this unless you're hanging with them, you're running with them, you're partying with them, and all that. And that's exactly what they were doing. Right? NorCal, thank you for the coffee. Salutes. Much love. God bless. Thank you. So yeah, was there a ton of celebrities tied in? Yeah, that's how the whole thing works. We know this. That's just being in the Masonic club, you got to get blackmailed. But this was more than that. Say you got a Masonic club and the Mossad's not controlling it. The Mossad sets up its own blackmail network and rings so it can. No matter if you've got Skull and Bones, you got your own little clique that's in this, and like we're infiltrating that. Like you guys, that's how they work. And that's exactly what Epstein checks out to be. The man had hundreds of millions of dollars funneled into him out of nowhere, literally. Didn't own any companies, any businesses. He was propped up throughout the whole thing, and a good friend. He was a good friend of Trump. They were. Of course, Trump will never say that now. At this point, he'd be like, blah, blah, blah. You get stonewalled and all this, and you could tell they're guilty. But just look at all these pictures, man. I mean, come on. There's some in Maxwell in all these pictures as well. The videos are kind of the video of Trump, especially this one right here, like this image right here. This is from the same party. This one right here, this one, and this one right here, because you can see they got the same clothes on right there. And but this one is like Trump is looking at women, and the look on his face is just disgusting. You can see the look on his face. He claps his hand like, oh, that's a hot one right there. And like he says something in Epstein's ear that makes him keel over, like bend over. You can only imagine that it was sexual and perverted. Is my best guess. But that's who was said to have introduced Melania to Trump. Was these circles of Epstein, all the same people. And I mean, they were hanging out at all types of different events, man, all the time. And I mean, like hanging out. There's a whole, all these are like major different events here, all kinds of different parties. So like, part of me wonders like how much of the P. Diddy thing was meant to just serve as a distraction from this in case they needed it. But it did not work. The whole P. Diddy thing, yeah, we can see they let him off on the lesser charges and all this stuff. And I'm going to play this clip again because I think it's important. If you've never seen it, or even if you have, it's a very short one. But I just want you to see the demeanor of all these guys. The stone cold Rubio that's afraid to even blink or turn the wrong way. The nervousness of Bondi. Trump's asserting certain stuff. Like you can just tell that they're toast on this.
On the
It's,
Yeah, sure. If
hey,
I
Pam, could I just interrupt for
Sure.
1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
That right there makes you look so guilty, you piece of work. I don't trust none of them at all. It's a mafia. The Don, he's the head of it right now. And this is the hand we've been dealt right here, man, with these goons.
Is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said...
The way Rubio's sitting there, man, like, oh my gosh. I'm body language, all this is everything, man. Like, I don't know, man. They're just smoked on this, and I love it because, you know, when they make mistakes, you gotta put the light on it. Now, I'm gonna play this piece here of Tucker Carlson, and then I got another tab open here with a couple more pieces where Tucker's saying quite a few things about this. Now, I don't trust him. He's CIA trained and all this other stuff, but it's not always just about who someone being trustworthy, because a ton of these people, they've got to tell you the truth, like 80% of the time at least, or they're not believable. Okay, or they're just not believable. It's the rest that's deception. That smaller amount of deception that's critical, that you got to watch. Steve, thank you so much, and everyone that received those memberships, welcome to the underground. But I just sometimes I think these guys give away key things. They say key things, they drop certain things, and I will give Tucker the credit. He said things to his millions of people in his audience that others would not have. He's done it. I've seen him do it several times, and I can't hate on that. You know, no matter how much is control out there, when certain truths are to be spoke, and it's only coming out of the mouths of certain guys every now and then, well, you got to get it where you get it. And again, controlled or not, I think that certain things that are said here are important to hear.
Not acceptable. And I think the real answer is Jeffrey Epstein was working on behalf of intel services, probably not American. And we have every right to ask, on whose behalf was he working? How does a guy go from being a math teacher at the Dalton School in the late 70s with no college degree to having multiple airplanes, a private island, and the largest residential house in Manhattan? Where did all the money come from? And no one has ever gotten to the bottom of that because no one has ever tried. And moreover, it's extremely obvious to anyone who watches that this guy had direct connections to a foreign government. Now, no one's allowed to say that that foreign government is Israel because we have been somehow cowed into thinking that that's naughty. There is nothing wrong with saying that. There is nothing hateful about saying that. There's nothing anti-Semitic about saying that. There's nothing even anti-Israel about saying that. I've spent my entire life pretty much in Washington, where I knew and loved a number of people, including one very close person who worked at CIA. That has never prohibited me from saying, I think the CIA has done some horrible things, murdered a bunch of people, participated in the murder of a sitting U.S. president. It's got a whole trail of crimes. That doesn't make me a disloyal American. It doesn't make me anti-American in any sense. I was born here. My family's been here for hundreds of years. I love this country. That's why I live here. So criticizing the behavior of a government agency does not make you a hater. It makes you a free person. It makes you a citizen. You're allowed to do that because you're not a slave, you're a citizen. And you have a right to expect that your government will not act against your interests, and you have a right to demand that foreign governments not be allowed to act against your interests. That's not creepy. It shouldn't be forbidden. And yet all of us have trained ourselves to believe that you can't say that somehow. That's like too naughty and forbidden. And the effect of making that off limits has been to create a lot of resentment, and I'll say it, hate online, where people feel like they can't just say, like, what the hell is this? You have the former Israeli prime minister living in your house. You have had all this contact with the foreign government. Were you working on behalf of Mossad? Were you running a blackmail operation on behalf of a foreign government? By the way, every single person in Washington, D.C. thinks that.
What was the former leader of Israel, the head of Israel, doing, living, and staying with Epstein? That is insane. That right there is like dead giveaway.
I've never met anyone who doesn't think that. I don't know any of them that hate Israel, but no one feels they can say that. Why? And I think the longer that we play along with it, the more subterranean and creepy and hateful the conversation actually becomes. So I think it's better just to say it right out loud. Did this happen? And of course, that question has been asked to the government of Israel, and their answer is, we're not going to tell you. And I think our answer should be, no. As long as we're sending you money, if you were committing crimes on our soil, we have an absolute right to know, did you do this or not? And yet everybody has been so brainwashed into thinking that's somehow an expression of hate or bigotry, when it's not. It's a baseline question that every U.S. citizen has a right to an answer on. What the hell was this? And by the way, if it turns out that it was nothing...
Well, I've got that clip ends right there. I want to show you right here also the sentiment of MAGA. This is what's happening. I put a video out on this, but this is what's happening.
We're not going to play with these anymore. MAGA hats are off. America First hats are on. Burn, baby, burn. And this is a great representation of what's left of MAGA.
Salutes, my friend. Salutes all day. To see that MAGA burnt to the ground. Oh, yeah. To see the satanic MAGA burnt to the ground. And people waking up to the whole thing. Look at this meme. So how's MAGA going? Oh, he bombed Iran. And he protects pedophiles. But we own the libs. Pathetic, man. There's some really good memes out there. I think memes do a good job of, in a funny way, getting the truth out there and across on potentially even very serious subjects, touchy subjects. It helps break the ice on it, to similar to that. Like someone didn't want to talk about the pedo fucking thing, or it's something like that. My bad. I think a cuss word just slipped out of there. Anyhow. When it gets on these subjects, I get instantly, this is the evil of evils. So this is where you're going to see me get fired up. It's going to be, so exposing it means everything, kidnapping young children, trafficking them, sexually abusing them, raping them, sucking the adrenochrome out of them, and then killing them in a ritual. I can't think of anything more horrific. And it's the same ring of people up at the top. All they want people to think about is orgies and sexual stuff. All they mention is the girls. There's plenty of boys that were caught in this. But once the boys get brought in, it runs to a deeper ring. I mean, it's that simple. All you got to do is open the next door. The next doors mention the boys that were all there. Because as soon as people absorb that and realize that, and like, well, hold on, what do you mean? And then like a whole different layer. And then layer after layer after layer. At some point they're going to have to see that like these same people are tied into the biggest human trafficking networks in the world. And again, I find the whole thing with P. Diddy, the timing and everything interesting. The lesser charges. Here's a couple more clips here real quick of Carlson, his thoughts on Epstein that are pretty good.
And I think the truth, for whatever it's worth, in case you're interested, is that the DOJ didn't release lots of incriminating sex videos with Epstein and his billionaire pals because they don't have them. They don't have them because when the original search warrant was served, 2007, I think, possibly 2006, I think 7, it was basically designed to protect Epstein. The search warrant was written in such a way to make sure that the feds never got their hands on the actually incriminating evidence. It's another way of saying the cover-up has been going on since 2007, almost 20 years. And so the real question is not, was Jeffrey Epstein a weirdo who was abusing girls? Yes, we can answer that. The real question is, why was he doing this, on whose behalf, and where did the money come from? And those are the questions that need to be answered. And I think it's entirely fair to ask them. And it's not adequate to say anyone who asked them is somehow desecrating the memory of little girls who died in Texas. Are not going to put up with that answer. I don't care who gives that answer. That is not acceptable. And I think the real answer is Jeffrey Epstein was working on behalf of intel services, probably not American. And we have every right to ask, on whose behalf was he working?
And this goes into the piece I already played, so I just want to play that extended piece there. You already seen that one.
And maybe I was like taking tons of money from some bad country, one of the bad countries you're not allowed to talk about or like. Qatar! That's the most hilarious. Qatar is kind of controlling our conversation. Qatar, evil Qatar. I am laughing. I've actually been to Qatar. It's awesome. Never taken a dollar from the Qataris or the Qataris or whatever they're called. It's a great country. But whatever. But even if I was like on the payroll of Qatar, which I guess I can't now, but anyway, even if I was, it still wouldn't make the question any less relevant. Why is this a good idea? And their refusal to answer that question lets you know right away that you are not dealing with a person of good faith. You're dealing with a propagandist who is trying to control you.
Seems like the mainstream media. All in all. So Elon starts pressing Trump. He calls on him to just release the files. And of course, they had the spat back and forth, and even had another spat after that. And they're not on the best of terms, it seems, at this point. But Elon, still throwing this jab from over in the corner. And he's not the only one. Roger Stone just came out calling on Trump to release the files. A lot of these guys are, a lot of people. This is bad. The fact that Comey's daughter is overseeing both these cases, all this is a setup, man. At this point, it's either if people don't see this for what it is, it's because they're choosing to not see it this way. They're refusing. Look at this. I just told you. Elon. All these people coming out. Stone. Asking Trump to just drop the list. General Mike Flynn urging Trump to confront the cover-up. Says we cannot heal without people being held accountable for child abuse. It's an honest statement, but no, he'll turn around and smear Flynn next or whoever. It doesn't matter who it is. You see, he'll turn on his own GOP like you saw him do Thomas Massey and everything. If you do not do what he says, he will torch you. He will do everything in his power to dish you and try to tear you down. The problem is this subject's got him by the kahunas, because you've got guys that were like there for Trump through two runs. Stone, him, others. Like, dude, you've got to say something. You've got to fix this. This is bad. This is bad. The reason it's really bad is because Trump doesn't have to go out and really answer to everyday people. Everyday people He lives in his own little bubble and world. He doesn't have to hear it. But these other people do. Roger Stones and Mike Flynn's, they've got family. They've got friends that are out here walking in circles, normal people in circles and social media and all this other stuff, live streams and all this other stuff going on, where people have questions, have concerns, and they're bringing all this stuff up, and they're bringing the heat. They're bringing the heat this time. And these are the guys that are feeling it. And that's why the only thing that they can do to save face for themselves in this whole thing is to just put it on Trump Square. Like, you've got to do something. And that's what's happening. That's how bad this is. You've never seen a subject. I'm not so sure you're ever going to see another subject that's so damaging. They're trying to make it seem like it's not that bad, but it is, man. When you look around and you look at the reactions of all these people, they're freaking out. And many of them, if we don't get some kind of answer, you watch, they're going to break away from Trump. And you're going to watch the continued fracturing of the base until it just dismantles. I predict that there's always going to be some that stay on a Trump train till the ship sinks or whatever. But by and large, people in big chunks beginning now are going to start to fall away from it. I'm going to speak it into existence that they're going to start waking up and they're just going to start falling away from it and away from the whole Trump movement, disconnecting themselves, not wearing their MAGA hat around or anything, and just disconnecting from the heavy circles that are still pushing it in anything like that. They're going to do it subtly, and it begins now. You're going to see this accelerate over time. This isn't going to go away. I think that over time, things are going to get worse in all of our lives. I think economically, financially, and you're going to see kind of a hellstorm kick up in this country, which was all by design. It always has been, it. And it's all meant to come out on Trump's watch. We know all these things. These are the moves that we actually know before they happen. So, and we also know that he's going to be responsible for the economic reset. He was sent here to reset. Came out of his own mouth. Big events. And Israel, the Mossad, the rabbis are on video, and I shared this with you in the past, saying that he's the Gentile Messiah and that he will hand over here on this new global world stage, this new world order, America. He will hand America over. It's like some lamb to their Messiah. And he's the one chosen to do it. Well, he's on the clock. He's only got 3 years here. But let me tell you something. Like, I want to end the stream here in a bit with some here. We're at the top of the hour. I've got plenty to cover still, so I'm just going to keep on trucking here. I'll finish it within the next half hour. Try not to make these too long, but we got so much information going on. So here, anyone checking in, top of the hour, anyone coming in, welcome. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Emails dabu7@yahoo.com. You get anything to me, get at me in the chat. And anyone that wants to support the channel, PayPal, buy me a coffee. Best ways to do so. Thank you, NorCal, again, and thank you, Deanne, so much for everything you do. I thank God each day as well. It's something everyone needs to get in the habit of doing. Just thanking the Most High for what you got, being grateful, and just stay walking righteous, man. Much love, Wilson. Eon, much love, my brother. Good to see you out there. So, we always need the truth to prevail. And this is a very crazy time. Oh, let me play this clip from Godlike. This is Judge Napolitano. Now, I like Napolitano just because, like, when I was, I'm talking years and years ago, back when, like, it was Obama time. Napolitano was on Fox News. And he came on Fox and he did something that like no one does. And I thought that like he was gonna get in trouble for it and all this other stuff. But what he did was he came out and he did a segment showing how the FBI staged dozens of events only to turn around and take credit for them, to foil them, to look like heroes. I said, what? I'm like, bro, like, nobody does that. Like, and he wasn't on Fox much longer after that. Like, he had shifted to somewhere else. They got him out of there. I thought it was interesting timing, and I always gave him props, Napolitano, for doing that. Western Australia, Neon Penguin, much love. Thank you for that. So check this one out.
I thought that the response by Trump at the cabinet meeting when someone asked the Attorney General an innocent question about how, an obvious question about how this Epstein imbroglio had suddenly burst upon them, and Trump intervening in that asinine way, saying, I can't believe people are still talking about Jeffrey Epstein, when he and his whole MAGA movement never stopped talking about Jeffrey Epstein. What changed, do you think? What happened in the evidence bundle that persuaded them not to proceed?
I think that I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. I think Trump's name is on the list. I think Mossad knows it. I think Mossad told their American stenographer, who happens to be the director of the CIA, who takes down and regurgitates everything Mossad told him. And I think that stenographer whispered it into the president's ear. And he's terrified.
We're done.
Did
you just hear that? We're done. We're smoked. He just sat there and told you, even the CIA dude is Mossad controlled. We are screwed. That's what see what I'm saying? Napolitano gives them tidbits, man. He just told you. He just flat out said it. He didn't pull no punches. He goes, I think he's on the list. Like boom, boom, boom. Like he just gave the goods. That's why I love Napolitano, man. I love it because everyday people out there that can't take it from me because I'm too hardcore or whatever, they'll accept it. They can digest it from someone like him. You know, everyone has their flavor, you know, if they like whatever, but it's all about getting this information to the people and getting them to wake up, man. Ava, much love. Thank you for the coffee there, Ranex. So, you know, these things, man, it just shows me they're terrified. Let's jump to the next one real quick. Trump's DOJ makes a bombshell decision today on the Ghislaine Maxwell case. Today, you had Bondi come out and say that the Supreme Court should not take up her case. So this is something to watch because they also just came out and said that all of a sudden Ghislaine Maxwell is ready to testify before Congress. It could blow the lid off the Epstein files and the whole network. Garbage. Sounds like another pipe dream. You know, if this woman comes out and testifies anything in Congress and she's free or anything, it's 100% manufactured, scripted to sweep it under the rug. That's what you better watch for. She'll probably get hit by a bus a week later, because that's how they do. Make it look like it wasn't them. Because so much heat came down on this one, you can't just go off or here. Like they can't get away from this Epstein thing. As Trump said, it's a guy that never dies. Like haunting them. Like regardless if he's dead, if he's alive, he's on some island anywhere, that doesn't matter. Like the damage is done here. That the situation is known. Okay, and the fact that they're covering it up is like, it's the best thing that right now that we could hope for is that the people are seeing this, that they're seeing the cover up. So, you know, Maxwell coming out, giving testimony. Well, let's hear it. Bring her on. Let's see what happens. But man, I wouldn't trust nothing at this point, especially if it like And she comes out and she's like, yeah, nobody did anything. Blah, blah, blah. Let me free. I'm like, like, still not buying it. Like, is that the best you guys got? Like, because that's probably what they're about to try to do. Like, give her a get out of jail free card, or like, it's this or nothing to her. So, this was a very interesting one. Check this out. Jeffrey Epstein apparently or allegedly had a final message that he dropped right before he died. It just so happened to be to a lawyer that just so happened to be the Trump biographer. Oh my gosh. And there's no other details but this one little phrase. This biographer says that he sent him a message asking him how he was doing. And it's like, okay, so he had access to sending messages in jail like this, like text messages and like all this stuff. Like, I don't understand this. Like, he says the message he got back from Epstein was that he was still hanging around. Still hanging around. You know, they said he hung himself. And they're trying to, like, somebody failed here again. This was sloppy. They're trying to push it off to the people to where, like, he pushed a message. His last message was a hint that he was going to kill himself. Do you see what they're doing here? I do. I'm not stupid. They manufacture and package this stuff to push on dumb masses, but some of us just see right through it. Still hanging around, huh? The New York Post pushing this, like get out of here. Like, I see right through this. Like, we already know what this is. Like, and this just proves more crap that you're all full of it. Still hanging around was his last message. And it's not any other part of the conversation. It's all they wanted to put into people's minds right there to try to rebuff the idea that he killed himself, which no one has ever accepted. And now, like, no one really isn't accepting because all they've done is open a can of worms here. Here's more from Trump's biographer, that there's far more to the relationship than what anyone wants to tell you. Look at this. Look at Trump right here. It's a good image because it shows it. Look at him in the midst of all these young women and all this stuff. He goes on to state that, let me go down here. In terms of the whole Epstein thing, Wolf said he knows Trump well and that Epstein knew him very well and had dirt on him. Because when they were down there and they were hanging out, this guy and Epstein, he said that Epstein was ready to drop a dime of his own. That when Wolf last seen Epstein, it was around 2016, he said that I've got something to show you. He went to a safe and Epstein came back with photographs and they were Polaroids. And he spread them out like playing cards on the table in front of the guy. And it was Trump with girls of an uncertain age on his lap at Epstein's Palm Beach house. Right down from Mar-a-Lago, where Epstein would ultimately be accused of having a bunch of stuff go down there. He puts the date of the pictures around 1999 to 2000. He says, I remember very vividly 3 of them. Wolf continued. There are 2 girls in which the topless girls are sitting on Trump's lap. And then a third, which he has a stain on the front of his pants and the girls are kind of pointing at it. Sort of bent over laughing. 3 or 4 girls. He also said he assumes those photographs were in Epstein's safe when the FBI raided the house and seized everything from Epstein. So this guy's saying it's just something that was shown to him from Epstein, like the dirt and the blackmail he had on Trump. Those were just a handful of pictures. And they're assuming that the feds got that as well. But that's just a handful of pictures. Now, come on. Come on. You see all these pictures just like this. Come on. Look at this creep, dude. That's Donald Trump, dude. Look at this creep. Look how he's looking at these women. That's dirty. Sick of this guy lived a life of this for decades, man. Can you imagine how many people he knows been killed, knocked off? Can you imagine? It's sick. It's so these guys have known each other for decades. Hanging out for decades. I mean, look at this. Look how young Ivanka is right there. In this image. That's her right there. In this image. Look at Epstein right here. And they're hanging out then. I mean, he's known him for decades, like 2 decades. And this is the one clip I'm telling you about right here. Watch just Trump. Look at him like bite his lip and and smack his hands together. And like he's doing a stupid little dance. And he says something, I'm sure, perverted to Epstein because Epstein doubles over. Can't believe what he said. Right before that, he's like, she's hot. She's hot right there. See, he smacked his hands and pointed at a woman and said, she's hot. That much the lip readers could make out. But then when his head goes behind Epstein's, you can't make out what he says because it's hidden. So he says something that makes him fall over in laughter. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, she's hot. She'll probably take it. No, whatever. He said something crazy. And Epstein just like folded over. Like, I can't believe this dude. And like, yeah, that's Trump. That's Trump. I'm telling you, that's his. It's so. This is how this guy lived his life, and that's who they chose here to run their end game on America. This dude, and again, you don't think like it's just one of so many different parties. All the times these guys are not on camera or in photos, like get out of here, like. It's just disgusting. That clip always hangs with me with his bushy eyebrows there. Just smacking his hands and biting his lip like she's hot. And then looking at him like, you want her? Like or I'll take her. I don't know. I don't know the circumstances. What was providing, here. We know Epstein was good for having these parties with women and girls coming. That's the name of the game. So apparently, Trump attended these things all the time. I mean, again, boom. These are the circles in which Trump found Melania. Okay? Like, look, here's a whole different party, whole different event, a whole different place, and they're all together. Get out of here. And Epstein was arrested on Trump's watch, died on Trump's watch, and now getting covered up on Trump's watch. Get out of here. Look at that. Like, yeah, he clipped him. All right. He definitely, they're damaged. He looks so much like Drilla or something like the dude from the Monsters or something. They're like, oh, Trump. Oh, man, old Chumpy. Mr. Orange. Oh, yeah, that was before he started putting all the orange paint on. Like, running around like he's the Ultimate Warrior or something. Like, this dude, man. Oh, look at the way he's just looking at this girl. Like it's just like the looks. It's just they're so devilish. They're so devilish, man. Oh, look at this old one. Look back here. It's so old, Prince Andrew. He was in Silverhead then. He had all of us. He was all of them. Look at Chunky Trump there. Melania. All hanging out, Michael Bolton, all are tied into this. And look at him here. Look at this image. You might not have seen this one. Look at him. Ghislaine Maxwell's trying to get him to pay attention to the conversation, but Trump can't stop looking at the young girls that are going by. It even says it right here. It says, Heifer, Ghislaine Maxwell tries to get Donald Trump to focus on the conversation as a model saunters by. So it's just disgusting how he looks at these people and views them. I mean, look at this, man. These people hung out all the freaking time. All the time. All the time, dude. Like, his name's on the flight logs. We already know this. Oh, yeah. You see any one of these goons You see this fool here, right here, right here. You know this guy, Jack Posobiec? All you people fell in love with him. You know that he works for the Office of Naval Intelligence in being a shill. Literally, that's his job, to be a shill. He doesn't hide it. And the people are so stupid they accepted it. He is a government shill. Works for the awful Office of Naval Intelligence, cyber optic stuff in psyops and all that. He's literally a paid shill. It's what Jack Posobiec is, his piece of work. Same with Cernovich. Cernovich is on the payroll. Cernovich was in the image. He was off screen along with a bunch of other shills. Every single face that you see here is a shill. Remember, they all came out and they held up these folders, these binders, like they were cool. And it was the Epstein files, phase 1. Oh, really? We're being told now none of this stuff exists. That's how stupid they believe the people are. Mike Benz here. I'm not going to play this whole thing, but just wanted to point out that in his podcast, he shows and covers, and you can find this at the Gateway Pundit, that Epstein was working with the CIA since 1981. So take that to the bank. Damn near as long as I've been alive, that Epstein was working with the feds, the CIA, and Mossad. You clearly seen here tonight that the CIA is controlled by the Mossad. That Cash Patel by the Mossad, Bongino by the Mossad, Trump by the Mossad. It's got them all. We're done. It's a reality. It's a fact that people need to see and accept, and then we can make a move from there. We've been done in. We've been sold out right in front of your face, and you know who we've been sold out to. Oh, they hate me talking like this right now. Hey, Tyson, man, they could be trying to say something. He said, I'll screw you. The truth will prevail. Someone out there, even if you drop my body, someone will pick up the torch and the truth will prevail. Problem is here is when this thing goes into full-blown lockdown, whether it's the next release of bird flu or whatever, they're going to really stop the way everything flows. You're not going to be able to get on even the internet and online and get into this whole world that you know without having the right credentials. And that's going to show proof that you've been marked. You're living in the last days of freedom and life as you ever knew it. And it's crazy. Any of us that got to live through, the 80s, 90s, 2000s, how everything has changed and morphed. The freedoms that we had, the way that life used to be, the way it is now and where we're going with AI, it's beyond 1984. As we're fast approaching 2030. IDF soldiers say that grenades have been dropped from drones on civilians, none of which were armed in Gaza, if anybody cares. Where the genocide continues. Again, this isn't soldiers on a war front or anything. These are sick tactics. These are war crimes and everything else. Citizens getting grenades dropped on them. People with no ammunition, no arms, no nothing. Everyday people getting bombs dropped on them from drones. And the IDF is admitting this. IDF soldiers admitted this. Some of these guys, they have to do some of these things, even though some of them are nutty and go out here and slaughter whoever. Some of them don't like the fact that they have to do it. Similar to a lot of the guys in Ukraine that don't want to do it. They're kidnapping them and forcing them to go to the front lines to get killed. And those guys, too, are going to the front lines. And what happens to those guys in Ukraine every day that I tell you about? Every single day in them trenches, they are blown apart by drones and bombs. Literally, drones, like DJI drones, swarms of them. They'll send one in to film it, and then they'll send the rest in with bombs, and they'll blow them up in HD. Right? It's disgusting. It's sick. It's sad. It's sad. It pisses me off. Yeah, I have to see these things every day. I never show them because I can't, but I have to watch to know what's going on. The things I save you, I'll relay the information, save you guys from having to watch the bad stuff. But it's happening, and it's on repeat every day. I guess some of these guys I follow, it's just fresh stuff. You would think, oh, is this from a different angle? Same thing I already saw. No, it's something new. Same thing though. So Trump threatens Russia with a 100% tariff if a Ukraine deal isn't reached within 50 days. So this thing may explode to a whole new level on this world stage before this summer's over. Trump trying to strong arm now, and Putin's pretty much like laughed at him, like nothing that you say or do is going to do anything. Like you had a chance to stop this whole war is what Putin's saying, but you continue to send arms. So we had to take them out, which most of them are all defensive weapons at this point, like Patriot missile systems. But look at this next one. Russia, front and center. A big announcement on Russia is what they're saying is coming. I won't let him say it. So they're basically, like, what is it? Like big deals with Russia here or what? I don't know what way it's going to go, but it seems like if peace can never be made on this front, huge deals are going to be made with Russia. They telegraphed this before. They're hinting at it again, but there's got to be a peace deal. And of course, who's going to be the man to work out the peace? Who's front and center? The Gentile Messiah. That everyone's stepping up saying he needs to be nominated for Nobel Peace Prize and all this crap.
As you know, we've spent $350 billion approximately on this war with Russia and Ukraine, and would like to see it end. It wasn't my war, it was Biden's war. It's not my war, I'm trying to get you out of it. And we want to see it end. And I'm disappointed in President Putin because I thought we would have had a deal 2 months ago, but it doesn't seem to get there. So based on that, we're going to be doing secondary tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. It's very simple. And they'll be at 100%. And that's the way it is. That can be more simple. It's just the way it is. I hope we don't have to do it. But
he hopes we don't have to do it. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. World is such a stage, man. So Trump said billions of dollars worth of U.S. arms. I thought we didn't have much. He's saying it's now going to be purchased from allies like Germany, Finland, Denmark, to be quickly distributed to Ukraine. But they had so much stuff packed into this big, beautiful bill, it's sick. That's why the Mossad-controlled CIA director right there.
Are you planning to send more weapons to Ukraine?
When this is announced.
we're going to send some more weapons. We have to. They have to be able to defend themselves. They're getting hit very hard now. They're getting hit very hard. We're going to have to send more weapons. Your defensive weapons, primarily, but they're getting hit very, very hard.
He just loved every bit of that. I can't stand this goon, but listen here.
But the game regarding Putin's invasion of Russia is about to change. I expect in the coming days you will see weapons flowing at a record level to help Ukraine defend themselves. I expect in the coming days that there will be tariffs and sanctions available to President Trump he's never had before. I expect in the coming days more support from Europe regarding their efforts to help Ukraine. Putin made a miscalculation here. For 6 months, President Trump tried to entice Putin to the table. The attacks have gone up, not down. One of the biggest miscalculations Putin has made is to play Trump. And you just watch. In the coming days and weeks, there's going to be a massive effort to get Putin to the table. And to those who are helping him, China buying cheap Russian oil and having no accountability, those days are about over.
Sounds to me he's hinting at a huge economic something about to happen. I could feel him hinting at something huge is about to happen. In the meantime, Russia is continuing to pound Ukraine. It's a war front, and they're not letting up. They're pounding the area, and they're not letting up. And in terms of China is warning that these robots, and this is kind of ironic because I've told you about this, is one of my biggest fears. You don't have to worry about humans anymore. It's robots. Well, China's saying it themselves. They're trying to make an army of bots, same as Elon. And they're warning that if these things get out of control, they can start to kill everyone. They are warning about this, saying that faulty robots could lead to indiscriminate killings and deaths. So there's no other way around it, man. Like, this is a dangerous area that we're walking into when it comes into all this stuff. And I'm going to end here tonight with something huge that I put a video out on. And you've got to pay attention, because any day now, the real deal is going to happen. And some even speculate this could have been the real deal and that they had faked everybody. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the red heifer sacrifice that we've told you about, that is very important to these people before the third temple is going to be built in Israel. Okay? I told you in recent weeks, they've been up there on Temple Mount doing spells, seances, and chants, like, you know, spreading their sage around like they're cleansing it for something to happen. Okay? They want this. The moment they want this, wherever they want to build it, it will be cleared. It will go into motion. They are ready. So how ready are they? They burned a red heifer in a practice run, which would have been the real deal had they not have found, black hairs on this one. There was multiple, and I reported on this a long time ago. They had been trying to look for these worldwide, but the best place to find them was in America, actually, where they had got several red heifers, and they had several that they were keeping in case something happens, in case one has a blemish, because it can't have a blemish. So why is this all important? Well, according to a lot of different scripture, in terms of this temple being rebuilt, before the whole process can even go down, all the rabbis have to bless everything with ash. That ash comes from this process, this ceremony of burning this red heifer. Again, it has to have no blemish. So what they did is they just did it. They just burnt this thing. There's video of it and everything. They did the whole process. I put a video out on this. This means that at any time, in any second, like right now, they could be doing the real deal. So they had all the rabbis there. It was like a practice run. And there's so much speculation and different comments and thoughts and theories and everything tied into this. But I just want you to know this is where we sit. They actually burned one. They burned one and like put this thing into motion, like to where, okay, there's only one thing left to do after the practice run, and it's the real deal. Do you see? Like, we're that close to these things commencing. And look, that heifer's ashes, the ashes from all that, are used in the ceremony to cleanse, to get the whole temple process started. Okay, so it opens up a window in time that people have been waiting on for a long time. So, just saying, don't be surprised if here soon a video's popped out like it's happened, like it's official, like they just sacrificed a red heifer, and like everything else commences from there. But that's where we sit. An update there in terms of that. I want to thank everyone for joining me. This is a long one here tonight. I thank everyone for joining, for sharing. Sharing is caring. And try to check some of the comments here real quick. I want to thank those that do support the channel. Those that hit the PayPal. Buy coffee. Those are the best ways to support the channel. And thank you again, NorCal, Deanne, Ava, John, Edward, Wake Up America, Heidi, all of you. I appreciate it to the fullest. Thank you again, Steve. And welcome to the underground, everyone that received all those memberships. And I ask the Most High in heaven to reach down and connect and bless and touch and heal everyone that calls upon him. There's power in prayer. People need to utilize that. I ask the Lord in heaven to bless those that believe and that call upon him to answer those prayers, no matter what it is. So, much love, Deborah. God bless all of you guys. Bones. Take us out of here on some music. And as I always say, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'll see you here next time for some Underground World News Live. Much love. God bless. Thank you daily. Thank you, Eon, for being legendary and supporting like every stream. Like it's legendary. I thank you so much. Much love. God bless.